another legendary reggae dancer DJ. He has been in the music scene for a long time, you know. And I have the pleasure to invite him on the show tonight. And I'm really happy to have him on the show. This is the very first time I'm having him inside the studios, inside Paradise, and live on the Dancer Yard show, you know. So I'm not going to waste time. I'm going to welcome him on the show. And we have lots to discuss, regarding his career and the music industry as well, you know. So, Selector Hans, Legal Sound, welcome to the Big Bad Dancer Yard show for the very first time. Say hi to the fans and the viewers out there watching.
Big up the fans then. Yeah, man, Dancer Yard show is, this is a wonderful thing. Nice to be here, man, you know what I mean?
I'm glad to have you here, you know?
Yeah, man.
DJ Selector Selector, you know what I mean?
Yeah, man, thanks, man.
It's a big bad thing, you know what I mean?
Yes, man, fabulous.
I know probably there are a lot of people out here watching the show.
Yeah.
People have been hearing your name, Legal Sound, from way back, you know?
Yeah,
and
man.
this is the first time probably people have been seeing you on Paradise TV, you know what I mean? But the younger ones, they don't want to know who is Selector Hans, who is in the building tonight.
Yeah, man. Yeah, it's nice, you know what I mean? Give thanks, fabulous when it comes to, the Dancer Yard show. It's a pleasure. Like I said, you know what I mean? Yeah, a wonderful thing for me. You know what I mean? Because we've been hearing about Paradise. It started from the radio. We all know this. And now, you know what I mean? It's a blessing to see Paradise come with a TV, and then next minute you have Dancer Yard show. Yeah, man, and who is definitely yourself, who is definitely defending, or like representing everybody, and then, you know what I mean? And at the same time as a DJ, you know what I mean, bringing the DJs and, you know what I mean, yeah, big up the artists at the same time. But, you know what I mean, being a DJ and then sound man from way back, you know what I mean, I'm very glad and happy to be around. And, you know what I mean, like I said, this is Selector Hans, Legal Sounds. I'm the CEO, same way, you know what I mean. Yeah, the people who know about Selector Hans, you know how it go from them time, you know what I mean, Selector Hans is doing his thing, you know, and then still now we're there, you know what I mean, pushing the thing in a higher level. You get me? We never give up, you know? Yes, man.
Okay, officially, when did you get into music? Can you remember the year?
Yeah, actually, when it comes to the actual time and the year, it was 94.
94?
Yeah, we you know what I mean? It's not me alone, but it's like I came with the title to make sure it's like, you know what I mean, this sound have to be, you know what I mean, have to start from somewhere. You get me? It's like by them time it's like moving with my crew, from the ghetto. Like, you know what I mean? It's like we're doing this music in the yard, not like having events and things like that.
Okay.
Yeah, it's like we normally have a session. We call it like in a yard style. You know what I mean, having some green tea and all this thing. By them time, it's like Legal Sound was, we used to, I used to commit the Legal Sound name.
But in 94, was the Legal Sound founded, or you formed it after 94?
Yeah, we formed it after, but it's like from 94, it's like we started the thing, you know what I mean, the inspiration. Because remember, I used to power, like when I say power, I mean like I used to elders them, who were there. Brought me up in music, you know what I mean, and they have a lot of inspiration from them. Yeah.
Before we continue, originally where do you came from?
Well, I'm a real Badi Bunka, you know. Yeah, Badi Busaba is my, that's my foundation, you know what I mean. Yeah, but I born and brought up in Banjul, 20 Claxton. Yeah, I will not talk about the year or whatever, because, yeah, you know what I mean.
Officially,
yeah.
When was Legal Sound founded? And how was it founded?
Well, like I said to you, myself come with this name, you know what I mean, legal.
Okay.
You get me, really and truly, you know, because, you know, the name legal, when it comes to that name particularly, it goes with reggae music, if you understand what I'm saying, you know, because reggae, you know, pure reggae and dancehall, you know what I mean, when it comes to the pure reggae and dancehall, it never creates violence, if you understand what I'm saying.
Right.
It's just people or artists who are, I mean, trying to manipulate the thing and, you know what I mean, trying to take it in a higher level, in a different level, sorry, but reggae is pure and clean. So that's why we come with this name legal, again, because it's not illegal, you know what I mean?
Right.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
But do you remember the official year? You know, 94, you started it in the corners, you know, vibing. But officially, which year was it formed? Like,
Yeah,
it's
that's
sound now. Now we have a sound.
that's exactly 96. 96, yeah. And then from 96, sorry, 96, like we tried, I mean, I put the registration, you know, I mean, from the, you know, I mean, in the institute, like with the government's, you know, I mean, institutes are where, you know, like, you know, it need to be have its own license, and, you know, I mean, if you understand what I'm saying, and a business trade and all this thing, if you understand, you know what I mean. So to go to Banjul and Justice and make sure all the registration will be proper, you know what I mean, yeah, officialized and thing, yeah.
Do you remember who were some of the guys you started with in 96 when you formed?
Yeah, I remember my brethren, you know, like my friend, them, you know, it's a brother called Kalilu Fatajo. He was really, he's not part of the sound, not like part of the movement, but yeah, a lot of them who were kind of like, you know, when I'm starting to, I mean, having the opportunity, because my brother, my cousin brother, who really, I mean, commit this, I mean, support, like, you know, because as he knows Selector Hands, like, I am really, you know, having a big time influence of music, especially reggae, because I learned from them, and I love reggae music, and, you know, and then one time I commit a project called, you know, brother, I think I wanna have a sound system, or, you know, if you understand what I'm saying, like, or create a record shop, if you understand. So the mindset was like, all right, you know what, before sound system, can we create a record shop, yeah? So this record shop was, you know, I mean, it's still at Serekunda Market, shop number 119. It's called Legal Sound Record Shop, you know?
Yeah, I remember when you were at Serekunda.
Yeah, you understand?
I have been buying some cassettes from you.
Exactly.
You might not remember.
From long time.
Most
of,
yeah. Buy cassettes, you know, buy readings from you.
Yes.
Yeah.
This is the thing, how, you know, it coming, and from there, you know, like, the support that I have from that brother, you know what I mean, like I said, Marcus, you know what I mean, their sound is called Wailing Sound, you know what I mean, yeah, and, you know, he started to also give a little part, part to support me, to make sure it's like this record shop starting, you know what I mean, and then from there, this is how it come, yeah, and, yeah.
Who was the first person who trained you how to mix? Like, how to play, how to juggle?
Actually, I would not really say there is a particular person who take me directly, but like I said, the inspiration, like I'm seeing some people, like, you know what I mean, you know, elders, like some of the elders called, there's one elder called Monty, you know, may he so rest in peace, he passed away. He was having a record studio also, you know what I mean, before Legal Sounds, you have those records up, like you have Caravan Sounds, and you have Roots International, and you have VP Record, you know what I mean, Moses, you know, big up Moses anyway there. Yeah, Monty, he was one of the, I mean, brother also, who I see, like, when it come to seeing him by, you know, doing his own mix, he playing and things. Yeah, observe a lot, and then, you know, it's just like, it's not really like a spot, you know, like a stealing from
it's
whatever.
Like you learn a lot of things on your own.
Yeah, really and truly, I learn a lot from my own experience. And then from there, it's like, some of the elders that, you know, I'm talking about, like, as they're coming in Gambia, coming for a holiday, you know, I mean, sometimes we have a little time to juggle, you know what I mean, like play on the records, you know, not even a CD or you know, when it comes to this, how they call it, this turntable, you know, that's happening. Sorry, this, I mean, how they call it, this mixer, that's happening right now, you know what I mean. Yeah, the virtual DJ and all these things, like before that we have records, you know what I mean? So those records, it's like I'm still having a record, because some people don't know it's like, you know, that record and all these things, you know, like as a sound man. But for us, we have experience from record and to CD and then to
How did you see the
control.
transition from the LPs, from the cassettes to the CDs, down to the virtual DJs, to the laptops, to the controllers? The transition, there's a lot of technology and all that. How
Yeah.
did you see it then and now? Which is more easier then or now?
Yeah, now it's easier to tell you reality because you can carry your DJ controller just one laptop and then you have your, how they call it, you have your external hard drive. You have a lot of music. For like I remember the time we having CDs, three bags and when we play in the CDs them. I have to have maybe man them like colleague and yard man, make sure rest in peace. They have to pass me the CD for me to be in if I need a rhythm, the one rhythm have to be on one file. You get me? So they have to try. Keep turning the file and give me
It was tough then.
one rhythm have to be a 2 CD, so you can mix it proper. You get me? So this is how it go. But like I said, the quality from that time when you come to record LP, or 45. Is definitely different from the quality of what we're doing, what we're doing right now, what's happening. You get me? But give thanks.
So how did you see music itself, reggae music then and now? Do you feel it's the same, or do you feel there's some changes?
It's quite little bit. It's quite different. Yeah, because those days it's like the quality of reggae music, when it comes to even the record itself, like from CDs, like when artists come with albums, for example, you say Buju Banton, Inner Heights, when it comes to the record, the quality, and comparing to, some times like this. Yeah, it's like producers are, trying, come with a quality, outputs. But when it comes to that time, I'm saying, the reggae music, and the it's just like it's kind of like, deep feeling, Yeah, and dancehall is happening, but the dancehall that time and now is totally different.
Okay.
Yeah.
How did you start playing on the radio and the clubs, and which radio was the first station that you played?
Yeah, City Limit Radio. I was City Limit, by then around 2021. I tried to have some trials and it was a trial, not like actually going to work. Stay to West Coast. And big up BMJ, he was the one who normally used to invite me at City Limit Radio. From 2021 to 2022.
And which year did you start at West Coast?
West Coast, I think it was 2020, I will just say 2025 to 6, something like that, because I can't remember exactly. By then it's a Bombastic was the manager,
Okay.
You get me?
Who are some of the big reggae artists that you've worked with? Because you play most of reggae and dancehall music. Who are some of the big international reggae artists that you work with?
A lot of them, because
Have you
like
heard any reggae artists in the country also perform a big show?
yeah, we have Prince Malachi. Maybe some people who know about reggae music, they will really know about Prince Malachi. He sounds like D Brown, like Dennis Brown, and Luciano or something like that. I have Admiral Tibet that I didn't actually bring him, but the connection that I have from the promoter or the promoter, it's who really bring that artist. He said to me, he was performing at Brickhammer Box Bar. Really it was not proposed to bring it for me, but by then after them, when the thing going at eye level, and then next minute he sees like, boy, hands have to be on this. You get me? So it's like, yeah, you understand? And then he bring, and then actually there was some people who were supposed to be part of the show, but they, at the end of the day, they didn't end up to turn up. It was marvelous and good, because I keep the crowd, to make sure it's like before the artists come, at Brickhammer Box Bar.
Legal Sound International. International means something that's gone beyond the borders of the country.
Yeah.
Tell us about international. Do you have people outside working for you, or is it a big team nationally and internationally?
Yeah, the representative. Yeah, I have my younger brothers. Like I said, this my brother is called Suleiman, and next minute, he's not really. It's not like only, representing Legal Sound musically. You get me, if you understand what I'm saying, officially. And then next minute too, he's also doing his own thing by doing music and like I said, it's like representing Legal Sounds. And I have another brother, I mean, there in Germany also, representing Legal Sounds, pushing the name. You know, although he turned to be like, he want to be an artist and things like that, you know what I mean? It's different.
But apart from Gambia, which other countries have you performed, have you played?
Not really.
Casamance?
Not really like you know, abroad sides. You know what I mean? Give thanks.
Casamance areas?
Yeah, I've been to that areas, and I've been to Dakar, you know what I mean, like in Brest Senghor, and I've been to like a lot of places. And right now, there's a big, I mean, sound, like a big sound who really, I mean, I'm doing their thing in Senegal, in Dakar. Again, it's like those people, they normally used to invite me. Again, it's like having a reggae, I mean, this reggae events over there. Yeah, Came Town, big up yourself.
What is your most memorable event that you performed or you played since when you started DJ? The most memorable event, either in the village, something happened that you will never forget throughout your career, something that is very special, something that is very unique.
Yeah, man, it's like I have a lot of that, you know. But yeah, when it comes to, you know, having an actual place, maybe, you know, when it comes to those days, not now, because now we have in our crowd, and you know what I mean, because we're talking about quality, you know what I mean, not quantity, you know what I mean. It's like the people who normally follow us, I'm sorry, I will come to that, people who normally follow us, you know, our followers, you know what I mean, they know the quality of Legal Sounds, you get me? It's like, you know, it's like they rather come to us and, you know, enjoy themselves and, you know, receive good music with us, you know what I mean. So that's why I'm talking about quality. But anyway, when it comes to the places that we, you know, we used to have our, you know, good events, and them time, you have Domino's, you get me, and next minute you have Domino's Beach, you have GTS, and you have, I mean, other different venues, really and truly, you know.
What is that thing that happened at the show that made you feel like, no, I cannot forget this one? I cannot move forward. Something special happened at an event during the show when you were playing.
Yeah.
Something happened during your playtime or during a show that you were supposed to perform, and you feel like, no. Anytime you sit and think about it, I say, boy, then I saw play and this must have happened for no. You cannot forget that. I want to know that special that once happened in a show in your career.
Yeah. Well, you know, like
That's one story to me.
Yeah.
But I'm not gonna say that.
Yeah.
It's a funny one. I just keep laughing every time I think about that.
Yeah. Anyway, it's like you know, we used to having functions, like we used to have commercial shows at, you know, I mean, in all the, you know, around the country, you know, them time, you know. So when it come to that, like I will remember those days. We once used to go to Bansan and Bassa area, you get me, you know, just to, like I said, when it comes to enjoyment and memorable and things like that, I will just say that it's a big, you know, event that we did with Heartbreaker, you know, those days, you know, at Bansang, you know, I mean, it was a marvelous thing I will never forget. And in Jara Shoma also, you know. But I would, like I said, you maybe particularly you want to hear one interesting that happening. So those days, like I said, in Bansang, yeah, it was really wicked there, you know what I mean? Yeah.
What happened there? What happened there that you cannot forget, that you remember, that you find interesting, that you find special and unique?
Yeah, man, you know, just about the fans, them. Okay. You know, when it come to selectors, you know, I mean, performing and playing music, and somebody used to hear my, you know, used to hear me playing on radio, and some people normally hear my records, you know what I mean? Yeah, because I normally used to do my records, you know, from them time before even coming to all this. I mean, commercial dance and all these things. You know, mixtapes. I used to do it, and you know, I mean, the records came first before I came to the yeah, if you understand what I'm saying. So these people now much more when it comes to the radio listeners. And this guy is like he came from far. You know, I'm talking about inside the crowd. You know, being among the crowd. You know what I mean? Right. From a corner where he was standing, and the music suits him. You know, he was kind of like, yo, want to come and hook me, and you know what I mean, show me love and things like that. Me and him fall down. You get me? On the stage, you know me. So it's an interesting thing. You know, that never happened. But it's like, yeah, like of love and fun. Right. And yes, still those things are happening because, you know, in our functions that we're doing right now, like our normal reggae dancehall nights, you know, people and selector and displaying. As in, like the mixing is tally up and everything is nice, the love. Then sometimes when I'm mixing and it's like the mixing, you know, how the juggling is going on.
When the fans get hot,
you get me? It's like it's normally amazing for some of them to say, boy, you understand? Yeah, this man is like, it's always killing me. You understand? With music, with vibes. You get me? So those things happening still.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, right now, how many people do you have in the sound? The legal sounds?
Yeah, right now it's just a few. You know what I mean? It's not really more than 5. You know.
Okay. Who are those people you're working with right now?
Yeah, you have Colleague, and you have Sniper, and, you know what I mean, and then you have Miss Dallas also, you know, who is really pushing me anywhere I am, you know, she's here. Yeah, and then...
Big up to the boss lady.
Yeah, you know what I mean, and then next minute too, yeah, you have the youngsters, you know, the young DJs, that you have to allow them to come in, you know what I mean, because I was having a lot of them, but, you know, this doggy dog life that we have sometimes, you know what I mean, like, you know, when I say doggy dog, I mean, like, you know, I'm not here to, I mean, I didn't come here to provoke nobody, you know, I didn't, you know, I don't want to criticize nobody, again, because I come for an interview and then we want to nice it up and spice it up and whatever, you know what I mean, big up to Dancer Yard, you know, once again, you know what I mean, fabulous. Like I said, those days, like, I have a lot of you that we inspire, and then they were with us, and then next minute, you know, sometimes, you know, the feeling of people sometimes come different, you know what I mean? Right. Yeah, so when changes come in and you wanna switch, and you know, sometimes it's a bad experience, you know, that we have, but I don't come here to talk about that, really and truly.
No, we're gonna talk about it later.
Yeah.
That's part of it. The other ones are on the show right now.
Yeah.
You are a big one in the music scene. You've been there for long. People would like to know what are some of the worst experiences, some of the bad experiences happened this DJ. Recruiting people, after some time they just switch on you and then move to another person and all of that.
Yeah.
We have so many experience into this. So what are some of the bad experiences that you have in this DJ?
Yeah, what all I can say to that sometimes is just about greed, you know what I mean? When people turn to be greedy and whatever.
Is that the DJs, the fans, the promoters, or?
No man, I'm talking about, like, you know, the ones that, you know, they they come in and they don't even know nothing, you know what I mean, and you have a full heart to bring them, to support them, you know, build them up on, I mean, musically, give them music, and same time you inspire them and, you know, like, teach them, even not directly teaching, but it's like, what I mean is like, they look at you, what you're doing, they want to do it, understand? And the next minute financially you support them, you know what I mean? Yeah, because after the end of the night, you know what I mean? Yeah, you need to go with something. Yeah, this is happening from them time. So after I decided to say, yo, you know what, no too much a crew thing, if you understand what I'm saying. Yeah, let me just try to, right now, at the present time, we are doing, I mean, every 2 weeks or every month, we bring a DJ that normally want to come and play in our platform, in our nights, in our platform, for everybody to still get chance, but they are not part of the sound. Yeah, but currently there's a 2 youth that really, even though they are not part of the sound, but you know, they were youth that I can see a loyalty on them, and I can see a love, and you know, and then they come. It's just like a passion, like how we have a passion in the music. You get me? So this youth, them, yeah, big up to Matt, you know, Matt Silver and MC Posse, big up yourself. You know what I mean? Yeah, those youths is like, yeah, man, they are my, I can say they are my nephew. If you know what I mean.
So what are some of the challenges that you faced in this music scene since when you started DJing sound business?
Well, the challenge is how we still continue to do our reggae nights, because that's the way I can call it, like reggae dancehall nights, you know what I mean, in the various venues. You know what I mean? It's like, it's all about defending reggae music. Like I said to you before, that's why the name legal come in, you know, because it's not illegal. You know what I mean? Yeah, people sometimes they kind of like misinterpret or whatever when it comes to certain, you know, certain things. Again, they misunderstand. You know, reggae music is all about love and peace. If you understand what I'm saying. Some people have their stresses in the yard, like in homes. Again, it's like they want to come out and feel their mind and come into reggae nights. If you understand what I'm saying. But because you know how, I mean, I'm not really kind of like to say, Gamble is nice, you understand? But true, you know what I mean, when it comes to this the system, political system or whatever, if you understand what I'm saying, sometimes like we all face a lot of things. We have to speak our mind, if you understand what I'm saying. But you know, true, we are doing reggae music as a reggae dancehall DJs, and you know, like being in the thing, you know, we make sure people come in our dance to free their mind, free their soul, if you understand what I'm saying. Yeah, and then the next minute it will kind of like reduce less crime in the country. Stress. You rather go into the people's homes and want to see people, or you want to rob people in the street and things like that. This is what reggae dancehall music do for you. You know what I mean? So that's why Legal Sound still now, you know what I mean, we are on the road pushing it.
Why do you choose reggae and dancehall music? Other DJs are doing different. But you mostly play reggae and dancehall. Why did you choose that genre?
Yeah, I even play some other music. Yeah. When I you know, just like we select an yeah. First of all, I would say reggae is a heartbeat, man. You know what I mean? It's a heartbeat, and even Jamaica don't joke with reggae. You know, it's like we all hear fabulous. We are not blind and deaf. We see everything clearly. You know, even the dancehall artists in Jamaica, dancehall music, you know, it's like people will say it take over the world, but dancehall is about to nice up the dance and thing. If you understand, the original dancehall, this is how it go. You know what I mean? When it comes to the experience of, having that particular, you know, feeling of reggae music, like when reggae is playing and it's like one drop, you know what I mean? People are feeling the vibes, and then you wanna nice up and high top, you know. I mean the dance and things like you must have play dancehall music. If you understand what I'm saying. So the difference is like, that is not even big difference. But what I'm saying, when I say the difference, I mean like the reggae music, the beat itself, it gives you such a feeling. Yeah. You know what I mean? It will kind of like calm you down and think. If you understand.
Anytime I play reggae, I say reggae is for conscious people. If you're not conscious, you cannot love reggae music.
This is it. That's what I'm saying. A conscious thing, you know. Yeah. A conscious thing, and then like I said, the most nicest thing about reggae music, like I said, even nowadays, don't get me wrong, there's young reggae artists who are coming up, maybe most Gambian people. I'm not criticizing my country, but what I'm saying is like Gambian know reggae music, you know. But I'm saying like there's a lot of people still even loving reggae music, but they don't know about some of the upcoming reggae artists them. You know, from Jamaica and Gambia, because I'm not really particularly like to say only Jamaica. We have a lot of Gambian artists who are playing reggae music. You know what I mean? I can you know, go to the list and you know, a lot of them, you know it, you know. You understand? So we still, we got the people, I mean, keep pushing the reggae music, I mean, and the listeners them, and you know, the fans them, yeah.
Legal, do you feel there is bad and fighting in the music scene? When artists come here, they always complain. Artists fight each other. When DJs come, they say DJs fight each other. Clubs, hotels, everywhere, there's fight. Do you feel like sometimes there's fight among the DJs or in the music scene?
Yeah, man, I see, to tell you the reality, you know, I see that a lot of fights, you know, in this music industry itself, you know what I mean? But like I said, my advice to my fellow DJs, you know, the artists of course, but particularly my fellow DJs them, You know, we have to learn to love one another.
Right.
If you understand what I'm saying, it's like, you know, because the fighting, after all, for example, as Gambians, you know what I mean, the fighting is there is no solution. You know, there is no
Doesn't have any benefit.
there is no beneficial thing in the fighting.
So,
And then next too is like, boy, it's like the main important thing is like, you say you're playing reggae music or reggae dancehall, you know, and also especially people who are really, you know, the big one of them, you know what I mean, you know, and then you said, yeah, young, some of the most of the young ones who are following you, you know what I mean, you should be a sample, you know what I mean, for the people to, you know what I mean. So it's like when they start those kind of fighting, what is going to benefit Gambia?
Exactly. So what do you think is missing in today's music?
Yeah, a lot of things that, you know, been missing.
Just summarize, if you have anything in mind, one or two things that you feel like is missing now. Is
Well,
it the love from people, or is it the togetherness, or what?
yeah, like I said, yeah, just like you mentioned, love is a little bit low now, you know what I mean, in the music, you know, and then next minute too, the people, yeah, and in the industry also, when it comes to me, my own, the industry is doing bigger, and it created.
Can we have a reggae festival? All DJs coming together and you have DJs festival like annually.
Of course, man.
When Fireman came and asked him, he said, yeah, it's possible, but how is it possible? This is the question.
Yeah,
He said it's possible, make
yeah,
it happen.
yeah. They do, you know, have a reason and have a nice, I mean, connection, while the fans, they are killing themselves, if you understand what I'm saying. It's happened to maybe the DJs. It's business, you understand? But that side of the thing, if we want to nice up Gambia more and bring more income in Gambia, like I said, it's like, it has to be something, you know, we have. If you understand, but it's like you can feel like, yo, you understand? You know, some people even I mean, some of the people will come to us and say, boy, Hans, where, but like, they try to, I mean, let you know what they see. And not all at that level, but I'm saying that there'll be a time that there'll be no more hands, like, what I mean. So why not can we believe them to learn from us? So the achievement from that, like creating and building a sound system, your own sounds and things like that. Even a studio we once created, if you understand what I'm saying, it was named by Swiss Gambia, what I mean. And then, but like I said, this is the thing that I was talking about. Within yourself, your own people, they try, they come into, they come into, spoil your projects, and which should be benefiting you and them. So with that project now, it have gone in vain.
What we deserve.
Moreover, like we talk about the promoters, have to try and change their ways, if you understand what I'm saying, to make sure it's like whatever they are. Have to know how to run PSN, what I mean, and then yeah, because in terms of life, I mean, like yeah, you have to learn PSN and to know that it's not an easy thing in Gambia, really and truly, because it's a struggle. Yeah, and I was even talking about, like, because the question that coming, I mean, before I didn't touch that side in a sense of, like, the when it comes You understand? Selector and creator event, we all go and Gambia. So people understand what I'm saying. Like we can do those things to make sure people will fly in from UK, America, you know what I mean, Europe and Jamaica itself.
Imagine
Neighbors that having building their hotel around our territory, if you understand what I'm saying, you know, and you don't even expect, you know, like this that what I'm doing, this industry, it's an example, storage industry, and then being having experience with a sound man, you know what I mean, who it came there in Gambia, and then, you know what I mean, like we have projects that we're trying to do. We make just like, yes, still when we got this events thing where we're talking about, and next minute try to create even an online radio, if you understand, of studio. The youth in the country, you know, who really get proper clean energy, you know what I mean, around us, you can survive from it. Yeah, so this is a thing that we really, you know what I mean, and I figure up Sunny at BBC One Extra, you know what I mean, who really kind of like respect legal sound a lot. He came around before, you know, people who know about Sunny B, they know what I'm talking about. BBC One Extra in the next minute. Yeah, and you know, difficult, you know, because you know I'm a sound man, I'm a selector, you know. Yeah. It's like you know what I mean. Oh, it's a difficult.
Yeah, that's why I said outside, because if you mention in Gambia,
yeah,
somebody else will be jealous.
Yeah. Even Gambia have a lot, you know, a lot of artists, but but like I said, you know, many more to be mentioned, but I can still, you know, just fight. Like we have, yeah. Anyway, you know, Chronixx is somebody who really, If you understand what I'm saying. Me no know the career is going a different way because people chat the different. We have Bourgeois, and have Anthony B, have Sisla, Luciano, you know what I mean? If you understand what I'm saying. Yeah, Peter was my artist who was favorite, but he passed away from the other time. Yeah. Yeah.
Legal, I'm so happy to have you in the show today.
Pleasure, man.
We can talk because I still have questions for you. The more I get to,
the
more questions keep ringing in my head. You know what I mean?
Give thanks.
But finally, what message do you have for the fans, for the viewers out there watching the show?
Yeah, before we go final, it's just like I have to big up the Queen, man, you know what I mean? Yeah, sit there, like us, support every time, like I said, Yeah, and then, this is something that most men really, I don't mean they don't have, but it's like, musically, like, sit there, and then we have, plans, also with, when it comes to, events and things. You get me? We're gonna talk about that later. You get me? Anyway, my final thing, big up to yourself, Fabulous. Give thanks for the opportunity and anything in a Dance Yard show, Paradise TV. People, fans, keep it up, keep it locked, every time and then we make sure it's like a man here, you do this, it's not like one purpose. You do it a purpose for different things, if you understand what I'm saying, like by bringing DJs and artists and like managers and things, understand, workers and things, everybody, you get me? So we have to keep supporting that thing they call Dance Yard, you know what I mean? Keep tuning, never switch, man. Yeah, tonight here with their GTS. Yeah, I didn't mention Alibaba also is coming up, really and truly. Like I said, this is the reason why I was telling about the quality over quantity. If it's called, but you know what, they are almost end of the time. Yeah, so I don't want to overdo it. Yeah, but people, the followers that follow Legal Sound know the quality of Selector Hans. Keep supporting, you know what I mean? Yeah.
Thank you so much for coming on the show.
Yes.
And, Selector Hans, Legal Sound, and the boss lady also sounds.
Blessed, yeah.
Time flies when you're having a good time. We've come to the end of this amazing segment. Dance Yard, that comes over in episodes today from 10 to 11 p.m. right here.
Yes, I.
TV. The show is also on radio, it's also on TikTok, and also on Facebook, I'll be right back next week, the same Saturday, the same station, and at the same time. I'm your host, DJ The Fabulous. I'm out. Bye-bye.
Blessings, Yeah.